Hello, everyone. My name is Geddes. It rhymes with lettuce. And it's both a pleasure and honor to be speaking today. Thank you for having me. So, today I want to talk about open sourcing mentorship. So, what if there was a resource for mentors, a resource for mentees and those looking to get started, a resource that provided strategies, advice, content, and community support for all things related to mentorship? This resource I'm talking about is a resource that I wish existed back in the day, back when I was just starting my coding journey. And I was asking myself all kinds of questions like, where do I find a mentor? How do I approach them? What do I talk about? And now, fast forward today, when I made the transition from a mentee to a mentor, there were new questions like, how do I effectively help share and pay it forward these knowledge, these experiences, this guidance? So this is a story of why mentorship is important, the obstacles associated with it, and how my experiences led to this idea of this open source project of open sourcing mentorship so that's more accessible to all. And as a disclaimer, I am by no means the world's leading expert on mentorship. I'm just someone who is thankful for it and believes in the power of it. And I think that's what's so great about this idea of open sourcing mentorship is you don't need to be an expert. Just come with your ideas, your questions, your feedback, your thoughts, and more. So let's think about what is mentorship? And the funny thing is that it's such a tricky question because mentorship is a personal thing. It means different things to people. To some, it's a formal endeavor. To others, it's more informal. It can happen in the workplace or it can happen anywhere. Some prefer to have an agenda. Others prefer more ad hoc situations. Some people think it should be a weekly conversation, while for others, it may just be a one-time 10-minute conversation. And there's others who can make a distinction between mentorship and sponsorship, while others view it one and the same. But in summary, what all this is really just trying to say is that mentorship means different things to people. And that's great because that's also an opportunity. And while the obstacle may be that there's no universal one-size-fits-all approach, the opportunity again is how can then we all collectively contribute our ideas and strategies and community support. And so that brings us to, frankly, why open source is a great opportunity for this. And so by open source, we mean for it to be guided by principles. And these principles are inspired and credited to the open source way found on opensource.com. And it's these principles such as being transparent, collaborative, to release early and often, this meritocracy founded on community. And the overarching goal is how can we leverage open source principles and technologies to improve both the quantity of mentorship, but also the quality. At the heart of it, it's really about something, a resource, something that's constantly growing and improving, something that is built by the community, for the community. Because again, mentorship means different things to people. And that means there's different cultural nuances to it, depending on the country, depending on the situation, even depending on what stage one is in. It's not universal, it's unique. But yet, despite the uniqueness of it, there may be certain patterns and trends and overall general guidelines that we can provide. And in those circumstances where we cannot, that's where we have this community to help support and guide each other. So pretty much this is about open sourcing mentorship to the point that it's global, it's an inclusive, it's reflecting the way we are different, yet the same we are the same. And mentorship has this ripple effect. There's benefits. It helps you, it helps others, it helps the community as well. And the thing with these ripple effects is that sometimes we may not even see or know the benefits that they're going on for days, for months, for years and more, but they do exist and it does have lasting change. So really it's about when you help others, you help yourself. That's what mentorship does. whether you're a mentee or a mentor or anything in between. But that said, despite the benefits and progress made, mentorship is still not accessible to all. I want to repeat that one more time. Mentorship is still not accessible to all. And the thing is, this actually may not be an intentional reason for this. For example, looking at this sketch here, doodle of sorts, we have a group of folks shrouded with this vibrancy and glowing yellow lights of sorts, and it's in this vibrancy where they're helping each other and guiding each other and championing for each other, so that they're going onward and upward with their respective goals and accomplishments and so forth. But then there are other folks who may be clouded with gray clouds of uncertainty and confusion. And you see, they know the benefits of mentorship, but they don't know how to tap into it or how to access it. And at the same time, the folks in the yellow who are already benefiting from it, they may actually want to help and they may want to give back, but they don't know how. And so I myself have been in both groups, as a mentee, as a mentor. And when you look at this, we see one little pocket of gray uncertainty, but there's so much more, so many people who want to access and be a part of this that just cannot. And in fact, with the yellow vibrancy, so many people that want to help, I think, deep down, but they don't know how. And that's what's kind of a little beautiful about this, is that there may be folks who think they are not mentoring, but in fact they are. And similarly, there may be folks who think they wouldn't be good mentors when in fact they can. And so open sourcing mentorship is about connecting ideas and resources. It's not about reinventing the wheel. There's a lot of good ideas and resources out there, but they're spread out, sometimes isolated, and it's difficult to know what's out there. Things are constantly being updated, or they may be in certain pockets of communities that just may not be accessible to everyone. So one, it's about connecting all those ideas, strategies, resources, programs, etc. And then it's about creating and fostering and growing a diverse, inclusive, welcoming community behind it, for people to ask questions, and when you have concerns, when things are going well or when things are not going are going well. And so it's for folks to know that there's a community for mentors and a community for mentees. And so that is, in summary, connecting what's existing and then building what is missing. Because this gives a great opportunity to see the gaps in place, gaps that perhaps can be filled and aided and augmented by technology and guided by, again, these open source principles and technologies that may lead to tooling and services and APIs and more. And the beauty of this, and quite frankly, the fun of it, is that we do it together for the community, by the community. So with all of this, I want to now transition to a little bit of my story and how these experiences led to just this gratitude for mentorship, and also this passion and joy for wanting to advocate for more of it and make it more accessible to people. So here we have me at the start of my coding journey. I had these high hopes. It was a bright, sunny day, blue skies. I was filled with my backpack of knowledge. And overall, I was just very excited about building things and creating things and doing good for the world through code and technology and more. But as things went on, these questions started creeping in, such as, am I good enough? I started feeling a little isolated from peers, from colleagues and more, where I saw them as a little unreachable, far away, separated by this crevice, this gap of questions. And they just seem so knowledgeable and so insightful. And I thought, how am I ever going to cross this barrier, this gap of knowledge, of questions? How can I ever get there? And then another question came up, where is, am I passionate enough? You see, I would sometimes admire and respect, again, folks who just seem so enthused and engrossed with themselves and their computer and their terminal and so much more. And yet my mind would sometimes wander to other ideas, like, what if we combine technology with the humanities or with the arts or with the sciences? What would the world look like with that? But I thought, well, then, but isn't computer technology and so forth only to build gadgets of sorts? So I thought, perhaps I'm not passionate enough for this. And with the former two questions of, am I good enough? Am I passionate enough? It was now compounded by another question of, do I belong here? I felt out of shape, in that I couldn't fit into certain communities because of how I was thinking or how I was feeling, or perhaps a lot of just internal gears moving in my head, that just things weren't clicking. But again, the community seemed welcoming and embracive. But yeah, I was thinking, how am I going to fit in there? I am this square rectangle, and I can't fit in this. I can't seem to fit, but maybe I could, into this community. So really, I almost stopped before even starting. This backpack of knowledge that I had, I was ready to just leave it on the ground. The blue skies and the bright sun that was shining on, I thought, maybe I'm just going to turn back. And frankly, now the gray skies started coming in. Not that there's anything wrong with gray skies. Gray skies are nice too. But in this case, I'm like, maybe I should just stop altogether. But yet, I am here today. I am speaking today. I am a software engineer. I am a technologist. I am someone who believes in the power of technology and is curious about it and is motivated by it. And I'm here thanks to community. I'm here thanks to mentors. I'm here thanks to friends and colleagues, family, strangers alike. I'm here thanks to so many people. And that's what the heart of this is about, is there's so many paths people can take, and one person can have an influence, and then another person has more influence, and another person everyone keeps having goodness to keep on sharing. So in my day-to-day, I'm both the mentor and the mentee. It's like a flip-flop. One day I'm here, one day I'm next. 1 hour to 1 minute. It just keeps switching back. But an interesting thing to note here is that before I became a mentor, frankly, I didn't want to at first. I perceived a whole bunch of these obstacles. I thought to myself, I don't have the time. I'm not part of this quote unquote formal program, nor am I an expert. Actually, those are some pretty big shoes to fill and a little bit intimidating. Or I was thinking, what if I give the wrong advice or too much advice? Or at the heart of it is just frankly, why do I even need to mentor? I'm fine now. Maybe they can be too. And lo and behold, and speaking to other folks, there were these frequently asked questions of mentors that started popping up. Again, such as, why should I mentor? Why do others mentor? They seem pretty busy. They are doing a lot for the community, yet how do they still find time? In my case, why would I want to keep giving and paying forward? Or maybe I'm already bought into the idea of mentoring, and then it becomes, well, how can I become a mentor? Do I sign up somewhere? Do I go somewhere? What do I actually do? Or did I just need the wake up call that I am mentoring already? And then the next stage from getting started in mentoring, the next stage is growing as a mentor. So how can I become a more effective mentor? or frankly, maybe I need to take a break from it altogether to recharge to be able to keep doing it long term. And along the same lines, there were these frequently asked questions for mentees. Specifically, in the first stage is, how do I get started? Where do I find these quote unquote mentors? What do I ask? What do I talk about? I want to be mindful and respect their time. How do I do that? And now moving to the stage from, now I'm a mentee. Well, how do I become a better mentee? How do I really make the most? Or how do I make sure I am thankful and respectful and mindful of just the relationship and the advice and guidance I'm being given? And so all of these questions, the obstacles that I face, the obstacles that others have been facing, the obstacles that we face day to day, and all these questions that we're having, it led to this idea of, why can we not? Why should we? Why do we? Why must we open source mentorship? And this is the initial idea, a seed that's being watered, grow into a forest, or it may take a whole different shape altogether. But it's called Mentorship.Guide. So that's the website, Mentorship.Guide. And Mentorship.Guide is exactly this. It's a resource that provides strategies, ideas, community support. Again, it's in this beautiful stage where it's just starting to grow and there has much potential. And it really needs the community to make it blossom and make it flourish. And more so, it's just the idea is, again, with these open source principles, how can we turn Mentorship.Guide into something completely else, into so many different things, different names, different ideas. Again, so beautiful because it's like by the community, for the community. So here we have a snippet, a glimpse of one of the pages of it. And when you log in, essentially, there's different paths you can take. I'm a mentor, or I'm a mentee, or perhaps I want to contribute. And what's neat about this is that despite mentorship being something very personal and unique, there are still certain themes and patterns and overall generalizations that can be complemented with more day-to-day nuances. But here we have, for example, mentorship styles. And there's one in particular called an educator. You perhaps may be an educator. An educator is someone who likes to teach and inform on concepts, ideas, and more. Or you like to explain and clarify material. You like to just share knowledge and experiences. A warm, endearing educator at heart. And so what's interesting about this is that, going back to the story when I thought I'm not good enough, the same folks who I was thinking I couldn't reach were the same folks who were also helping me. They were teaching me the concepts. They were helping guide me and answering questions, building a strong foundation. And so they pretty much helped build this bridge of knowledge so that I could cross this crevice of questions. And not to say that the questions no longer exist, they're still there. But now it's this idea of, like, in community, we can figure out these questions together. And more so, I realized, actually, I am good enough. We are good enough, thanks to community. And going on the topic of mentoring styles, there's a few more. Again, this is a glimpse of the site. There's a lot much more information, but wanted to share a few of these here because I think it's pretty neat. And just the fact of just all the different opinions and voices that came into this, it's again, this open source beauty of it. So now we have additional mentorship styles. Some prefer to be more of an encourager, meaning you like to champion and remind them of their progress and accomplishments, to frankly just provide encouragement. Or instead of educating or instead of encouraging, one may be more of a listener, meaning you're just there to to listen, actively listen, to be there, to hear one's venting and frustrations and just showing solidarity and acknowledge that they're being heard. So going back to the original question when I thought, am I even passionate enough? There were folks who pulled me aside and knew my frustrations with this, and they said, look, frankly, you're right, you may not be the one who's going to create the next iPhone 100 or a new kind of Wi-Fi standard. Granted, I am very thankful for the folks because it makes things more fun, but I wasn't as interested in going that path. But I was reminded that I can use technology and combine it with all the many different interests. And in fact, I wasn't alone in this. And so when I actually looked at my peers and my colleagues, at the community members, they were doing the same. It wasn't just code for the sake of code. For some it was, which is really great. And while others are actually using code and combining it with music or with the arts and dance and theater and the sciences. And myself, I wanted to combine it with wellness and combining it with community and combining it with how do we make the world a better place through technology. And so it was thanks to mentors that I came to realize, actually, I am passionate enough. We are passionate enough. In going back to mentoring styles, sometimes one is more of a finder or a connector. And by that specifically means you may not have the answers, you may not teach something, you may not encourage all the time, but you actually quite enjoy connecting people to articles, to books, or frankly to other people as well. Or when you don't know the answer, you find this joy and curiosity in trying to find the answer together, searching collaboratively. And so going back to the question where I thought, do I even belong? Again, it was thanks to community. It was thanks to mentors that started connecting me with other individuals who had both similar mentalities and also differing mentalities. But in it, I realized we all like technology. We all like computing. We all like computing plus other bunch of things for many different reasons with different goals. But we all found that we can create this community that is inclusive and warm and diverse and inviting. So I realized, actually, I do belong. We do belong. And that was thanks to community. Continuing with just another sneak peek of the guide, there's also different forms of mentorship. It's quite fascinating of just how mentorship can be decomposed and broken down and split and remixed and such more. But for example, here we have forms of mentorship highlighted, and on the right we have just a brief glimpse of the table of contents. Again, mentorship, there's different forms of doing it. There's different forms of engaging with it, meaning it varies on the structure. Do you prefer more formal or informal? There's different question topics. Do you tend to enjoy the general, what do you think about this, or what should I do this questions? Or do you prefer more narrow, targeted questions? How do you like to respond? Do you like to just give open-ended responses, or do you like to give something specific? How do you like the engagement? Is it very hands-on, or is it hands-off? Do you prefer do you prefer meeting one-on-one, or do you prefer through email? Pretty much what this is all to say is that there is the mentorship style and mentorship form that's for you. And if it's not listed here, that's great, because you can share that. Perhaps that will help and benefit someone else. And so that what this is just share what you can, when you can, and how you can. However you think you can mentor, do it. It's beautiful. It's great, important, and impactful. And last but not least, again, another glimpse here on the left-hand pane is just, there's different advice perhaps we may share from mentors and mentees that's, again, community-driven, different resources. There's so many things out there, but are we all aware of that? and of course, contributing in the code of conduct. So if you could take one big thing, one takeaway from all of this, despite mentorship being so unique and so personal, and there is no perhaps universal one-size-fits-all approach, there is one thing that can kind of connect all the different ideas and themes together. And that is mentorship is sharing what you can, when you can, how you can. Share whatever you can, whether that's knowledge, experiences, encouragement, and more. Share it when you can. Perhaps you may be busy and you just have 10 minutes. 10 minutes to write a blog post, 10 minutes to write an email. Or perhaps you may have a little bit more time and you can get on a more like frequently phone calls and videos and etc. Or perhaps that may change depending on the months and season, or it may change at any time. So whenever you can, that's when it's best. What you can, that's when it's best. And more importantly too, it's just however you can. And whatever way that you think, here's how I'm going to help, here's how I'm going to pay it forward, because in paying it forward, it's going to also help me and the community in general, do that as well. And so the call to action here is visiting Mentorship.Guide. And there I'm really asking for two things. One, you can hit the contributing section. Each single page, there is a form to either submit questions, ideas, feedback, content, and more, or you can make a pull request. Again, the contributing guide displays all the information. And if you find something missing, please add on to it. Email me, message me, so we can continue the conversations, and alongside just building this community to help mentorship be accessible to all. And more importantly, is just taking the time right now or within the next 5 minutes to pick someone you're thankful for, whether they were quote unquote formally a mentor, or perhaps they were informally a mentor. They may not even think they were your mentor, but in fact, you're thankful for their help or for their guidance or encouragement. Take the time to either send them a quick email or a quick text, give them a quick call as well, and just say thank you for whatever they did for you. For the reason being is that mentorship has this ripple effect, ideally positive, and it continues for generations. And we may not see it, but the influence and the positive impact is there. And so this is just one way that we can say, hey, thank you for what you've done for me. And know that I'm also going to do the same for someone else. And so on and so forth. So thank you all again. Once more, just share what you can, when you can, how you can, and little by little, together, as we all build this in communion, in community, we will make mentorship more accessible to all, increasing both the quality of mentorship, increasing the quantity of mentorship, and indirectly, both directly, just making the world a better place. Thank you all very much.